The Deep Space Monitoring Station Argus 1, nestled in the crater Shackleton at the Moon's south pole, had been operational for just over a decade. Its array of advanced radio telescopes and gravitational wave detectors ceaselessly scanned the cosmos, searching for signs of extraterrestrial intelligence. Dr. Samantha Chen, the station's lead astrophysicist, had long ago given up hope of being the one to make first contact. That's why, on that fateful day in 2047, she almost dismissed the anomalous signal as a glitch. "Hey, Mike," she called out to her colleague, Dr. Michael Okonkwo, "can you take a look at this? I'm getting some weird interference on the KL band." Mike rolled his chair over, his brow furrowed as he examined the readout. "That's not interference, Sam. That's a coherent signal, and it's not coming from any of our satellites or probes." Samantha's heart began to race. "Are you saying?" "I'm saying we need to alert mission control now." Within hours, the news had spread from the halls of NASA to the United Nations Security Council. The signal, as it turned out, was a distress call from a species calling themselves the Zarkai. Their message, once decoded, was chilling. They were under attack by a hostile force known as the Krell Empire, and they needed help. The debate raged for days. Should humanity respond? Did we have the right to interfere in an alien conflict? In the end, the decision was made. Earth would answer the call. Project Prometheus, a secret interstellar program that had been in development for years, was suddenly thrust into the spotlight. The experimental ship Odyssey, equipped with a prototype faster-than-light drive, would make humanity's first journey to the stars. Captain Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge of the Odyssey, her crew a mix of military personnel and civilian scientists. As the ship prepared to make its first jump, Elena couldn't help but feel the weight of history on her shoulders. "All systems are go, Captain," reported her XO, Commander John Chen. Elena took a deep breath. "Initiate jump sequence." The stars outside the view screen blurred and stretched, and for a moment, Elena felt as if her entire being was being pulled apart and reassembled. Then, with a flash of light, they emerged in an unfamiliar star system. "Jump successful," John announced, his voice tinged with awe. We're really here." But there was no time to celebrate. The scene that greeted them was one of chaos and destruction. A massive battle was raging around a blue-green planet that looked eerily similar to Earth. Sleek, crystalline ships, presumably belonging to the Zarkai, were engaged in a desperate fight against a swarm of dark insectoid vessels. "My God," whispered Dr. Alejandro Reis, the mission's xenobiologist, "we're witnessing an interstellar war." Elena snapped into action. "Battle stations. Shields up, weapons hot. We're not here to be spectators." The Odyssey plunged into the fray, its advanced human weaponry catching the Krell ships off guard. Railguns spat hypervelocity projectiles, while experimental plasma beams lanced through the void, carving through Krell hulls. In the midst of the battle, a Zarkai ship hailed them. The alien that appeared on the view screen was humanoid, but with iridescent skin and large multifaceted eyes. "Unknown vessel," the alien spoke, its words translated by the ship's AI. "We thank you for your assistance, but you must flee. The Krell will show no mercy." Elena stood tall. "I'm Captain Elena Vasquez of the Earth ship Odyssey. We received your distress call, and we're here to help." The Zarkai's eyes widened in surprise. You came from beyond the gulf between stars to aid us. But how? Why?" "Because it was the right thing to do," Elena replied simply. The battle raged on, with the Odyssey's unexpected intervention turning the tide. The Krell, faced with this new and unpredictable enemy, began to retreat. As the last enemy ship jumped away, a stunned silence fell over the battlefield. The Zarkai ship hailed them again. This time, a different alien appeared, one adorned with intricate bioluminescent patterns that Elena guessed denoted some kind of rank. "I am High Commander Zilvan of the Zarkai Defense Fleet," the alien said, its voice filled with a mixture of gratitude and curiosity. "You have saved many lives today, humans of Earth. We owe you a great debt." Elena nodded respectfully. "We're glad we could help, High Commander. But I fear this is only the beginning. The Krell will be back, and in greater numbers." Zilvan's expression turned grim. "You speak truly, Captain Vasquez. The Krell Empire has been expanding aggressively for centuries. Many worlds have fallen to their onslaught. We Zarkai have managed to hold them off thus far, but our resources are stretched thin." Dr. Reyes stepped forward. "High Commander, if I may. Our two species seem to have much to learn from each other. Perhaps together, we might stand a better chance against the Krell." Zilvan was quiet for a moment, considering. Then, to everyone's surprise, the alien bowed deeply. "You came to our aid without hesitation, crossing vast distances and risking your lives for a people you had never met. Such nobility, such courage, it is rare in this galaxy." The High Commander straightened, multifaceted eyes gleaming with determination. "Captain Vasquez, Dr. Rice, people of Earth, the Zarkai would be honored to form an alliance with humanity. Together, perhaps we can forge a path to peace and freedom for all sentient beings." As Elena shook hands, or rather, tentacles, with Zilvan, sealing the impromptu alliance, she couldn't help but marvel at the turn of events. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and nothing would ever be the same. But as the adrenaline of battle faded, Elena knew that the real challenges were just beginning. How would Earth react to the news of alien life and an interstellar war? How quickly could humanity adapt to face this new threat? And what other wonders and terrors awaited them among the stars? One thing was certain: the age of Earth's isolation was over. For better or worse, humanity had entered the galactic stage. The Alliance. The months following humanity's dramatic entrance onto the galactic stage were a whirlwind of activity. Earth's governments, once divided by petty squabbles, now united in the face of an existential threat. The United Earth Defense Council was formed, with representatives from every nation working together to prepare for the coming storm. At the forefront of this effort was Dr. Samantha Chen, the astrophysicist who had first detected the Zarkai distress signal. Now, she found herself leading a team of Earth's brightest minds in a crash course on alien technology. "It's incredible," Samantha marveled, examining the Zarkai quantum processor. "Their understanding of subatomic particles is centuries ahead of ours. But their application, it's almost artistic." Her colleague, Dr. Raj Patel, nodded in agreement. "It's like they approach technology as an extension of nature, rather than something to be conquered. Imagine what we could learn from them." But it wasn't just Earth adapting Zarkai tech. The aliens were equally fascinated by human ingenuity and our ability to find unconventional solutions to complex problems. High Commander Zilvan, now serving as the Zarkai ambassador to Earth, watched in amazement as a team of human engineers retrofitted a Zarkai cruiser with a makeshift railgun. "Fascinating," Zilvan chittered, multifaceted eyes taking in every detail. "You've managed to combine our shield harmonics with your projectile weaponry. The Krell won't know what hit them." Captain Elena Vasquez, standing beside the alien diplomat, couldn't help but smile. "That's kind of our specialty, High Commander. We humans have a knack for thinking outside the box." "Indeed," Zilvan agreed. "It is a quality my people have long admired but struggled to cultivate. Perhaps this alliance will benefit us both in ways we've yet to imagine." As the two species worked together, cultural exchanges became just as important as technological ones. Human music and art found an enthusiastic audience among the Zarkai, while Earth's philosophers grappled with alien concepts of ethics and spirituality. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The revelation of alien life and an impending interstellar war had sent shockwaves through human society. Protests erupted in major cities, with some demanding immediate military action, while others called for isolation and non-intervention. President Emilio Rodriguez addressed the United Nations General Assembly, her voice steadied despite the weight of her words. "We stand at a crossroads," she declared. "For the first time in our history, humanity faces a threat from beyond the stars. But we also face an unprecedented opportunity. The Zarkai have offered us friendship, knowledge, and a chance to take our place among the cosmos. We cannot shrink from this challenge. We must rise to meet it." As if to underscore the urgency of her words, reports came in of Krell scout ships prodding the edges of the solar system. The enemy was testing Earth's defenses, preparing for invasion. In orbit above Earth, a joint human Zarkai fleet began to take shape. Sleek alien vessels bristled with hybrid weaponry, while Earth's newest ships, incorporating both human innovation and Zarkai technology, joined the growing armada. Aboard the flagship Prometheus, the first true collaborative design between the two species, Admiral Marcus Chen, no relation to Dr. Samantha Chen, conferred with his Zarkai counterpart, Fleet Master Torlak. "The Krell will strike here," Torlak indicated, pointing to a holographic display of the solar system. "They'll try to establish a beachhead on Mars before launching their main assault on Earth." Admiral Chen nodded grimly. "Agreed. We'll need to coordinate our forces carefully. Your ships have the edge in maneuverability, while ours pack a heavier punch, if we can draw them into a crossfire." As the two commanders discussed strategy, Dr. Samantha Chen and her team worked tirelessly in a lab several decks below. They were putting the finishing touches on a device that could turn the tide of the coming battle. "It's ready," Samantha announced, holding up what looked like a small, pulsing crystal. "If this works, it should disrupt the Krell's hive mind communication. They'll be in disarray, unable to coordinate their attacks." But even as hope grew, so did the shadow of war. Intelligence reports painted a grim picture of the Krell Empire's vast resources and ruthless efficiency. They had conquered countless worlds, and Earth was just the latest in their sights. In a quiet moment amid the preparations, Captain Elena Vasquez stood in the Prometheus's observation deck, gazing at the blue marble of Earth below. Zyle then joined her, the alien's bioluminescent patterns glowing softly in the dim light. "Are you afraid, Captain?" Zyle then asked, voice gentle. Elena considered the question. "Terrified," she admitted, "but also excited. Humanity has dreamed of this moment for centuries, to know we're not alone in the universe, to reach out and touch the stars. I just wish it didn't come with the threat of annihilation." Zylvan's tentacles rippled in what Elena had come to recognize as a gesture of understanding. Life often presents its greatest gifts alongside its greatest challenges. My people believe that it is in facing these moments that we truly discover who we are. Elena nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "You know, we have a saying on Earth, pressure makes diamonds. Maybe this crucible will forge something beautiful between our peoples." Their contemplation was interrupted by a sudden alarm. Red lights flashed throughout the ship as Admiral Chen's voice came over the intercom. "All hands to battle stations. Multiple Krell signatures detected entering the system. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill." Elena and Zylvan shared a look of grim determination before rushing to their posts. The moment they had been preparing for had finally arrived. The Krell invasion fleet had come, and the fate of two civilizations hung in the balance. As the Human-Zarkai alliance mobilized to meet the threat, one question burned in everyone's minds. Would their hastily forged partnership be enough to stand against the might of the Krell Empire? The answer would be written in the cold vacuum of space, with the lives of billions hanging in the balance. The turning point. The void of space erupted in a dazzling display of destruction as the combined human-Zarkai fleet engaged the Krell invasion force. Sleek Zarkai ships danced between lumbering Krell dreadnoughts, their newly installed human weaponry tearing through alien shields. Earth vessels, their hulls gleaming with integrated Zarkai technology, stood firm against the onslaught, railguns spitting hypervelocity rounds that shattered Krell armor. Aboard the Prometheus, Admiral Marcus Chen barked orders as holographic displays flickered with real-time battle data. Zarkai squadrons, execute Maneuver Theta. Earth heavy cruisers, concentrate fire on their flagship. Beside him, Fleet Master Torlak's tentacles flew over alien controls, coordinating their forces with inhuman precision. Admiral, the Krell are adapting to our hybrid tactics. We need something they haven't seen before. Chen's eyes narrowed. Then let's give them a taste of old Earth ingenuity. Captain Vasquez, you're up. In the bowels of a retrofitted freighter at the edge of the battle, Captain Elena Vasquez took a deep breath. All right, team. It's time to show these bugs why you don't mess with humanity. Launch Operation Trojan Horse. With a series of muffled thumps, hundreds of small, nondescript objects were ejected from the freighter's cargo holds. To the Krell sensors, they appeared to be nothing more than debris, wreckage from the ongoing battle. But as the objects drifted closer to the Krell ships, they suddenly came to life. Swarm bots activated, reported Lieutenant Sarah Wong, her fingers dancing over a control panel, targeting Krell engine systems and weapons arrays. The tiny robots, each no larger than a coffee mug, latched onto Krell hulls and began to burrow inside. Within minutes, Krell ships across the battlefield began to falter, their systems compromised from within. High Commander Zilvin, watching from the Zarkai command ship, chittered in amazement. Incredible. They're using the Krell's own tactics against them. A coordinated swarm attack. But the Krell were not so easily defeated. As their front lines crumbled, a massive ship emerged from hyperspace. The Krell Hive Queen had joined the battle. All ships, brace for impact. Admiral Chen's warning came just as a wave of energy pulsed out from the Hive Queen's vessel, frying electronics across the battlefield. Human and Zarkai ships alike stuttered and went dark. In the ensuing chaos, Dr. Samantha Chen clutched the pulsing crystal device she had developed. It's now or never, she muttered, activating the experimental technology. A subtle ripple spread through space, invisible to the naked eye, but wreaking havoc on the Krell's hive mind communication. Suddenly, the perfectly coordinated Krell armada fell into disarray. Admiral Chen seized the moment. All functional ships, focus fire on the Hive Queen. This is our chance. What followed was a display of combat prowess that would be studied for generations to come. Human ingenuity and Zarkai elegance combined in a symphony of destruction. Swarm bots sabotaged Krell systems from within, while Zarkai shielding techniques allowed Earth ships to wade deep into enemy formations, unleashing devastating close-range attacks. Captain Vasquez, her freighter now repurposed as a mobile command center for the swarm bots, worked in perfect sync with a team of Zarkai engineers. Redirect swarms to protect our damaged ships, she ordered. Use them as a living shield while we regroup. The tide of battle shifted, minute by agonizing minute. The Krell Hive Queen, for the first time in centuries, found herself outmaneuvered and outgunned. With a final, concentrated barrage from the Allied fleet, the massive ship erupted in a spectacular explosion. As the remaining Krell forces retreated in confusion, a stunned silence fell over the human Zarkai fleet. Then, slowly, cheers and alien vocalizations of triumph filled the comm channels. Admiral Chen slumped in his chair, exhaustion etched on his face. We did it. We actually did it. Fleet Master Torlak's bioluminescent patterns pulsed with excitement. Not just a victory, my friend. A turning point. The galaxy will tremble at the news. The invincible Krell, defeated by an alliance of two young species. As the Allied fleet regrouped and began rescue operations, the implications of their victory began to sink in. This wasn't just a successful defense of Earth and the Zarkai homeworld. They had struck a blow against an empire that had terrorized the galaxy for centuries. News of the battle spread quickly. On Earth, crowds poured into the streets, celebrating a victory that many had thought impossible. On distant worlds, oppressed species dared to hope that the Krell's iron grip might finally be loosening. But amid the jubilation, the leaders of the human Zarkai alliance knew that greater challenges lay ahead. The Krell had been bloodied, but not defeated. And now, the eyes of the galaxy were upon them. In a secure conference room aboard the Prometheus, President Rodriguez's hologram addressed the assembled human and Zarkai leaders. Today, we have shown the galaxy what our two species can accomplish together. But this is just the beginning. The Krell will return, and they won't be alone. We must be ready. High Commander Zilvan stepped forward, his normally iridescent skin shimmering with intense colors. Agreed, but we will not face this threat alone. Already, we have received communications from a dozen species seeking to join our alliance. The Galactic Council itself has requested a meeting. Captain Vasquez, still riding the high of their improbable victory, couldn't help but grin. So we went from complete galactic obscurity to major players in the span of a few months. Talk about a steep learning curve. Admiral Chen nodded, his expression a mixture of pride and concern. We've certainly made an impression. But with great power comes great responsibility. And great danger. We've painted a target on our backs. Every race in the galaxy will either want to ally with us or destroy us. Dr. Samantha Chen, cradling her now depleted crystal device, spoke up. Then we keep doing what we do best. Innovate, adapt, and work together. This victory was just a taste of what humans and Zarkai can accomplish as one. As the meeting adjourned and plans were made for the challenges ahead, a sense of cautious optimism filled the air. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger, more dangerous universe. But they didn't walk alone. With the Zarkai by their side, and the eyes of the galaxy upon them, the future, though uncertain, glimmered with possibility. The next move would be crucial. As diplomats prepared for the Galactic Council and scientists pored over captured Krell technology, one thing was clear. The human-Zarkai alliance had become a force to be reckoned with. The galaxy would never be the same again. Diplomatic challenges. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council was a marvel of alien architecture, its soaring crystalline spires and pulsing energy conduits a testament to the combined technological prowess of 100 species. As the human and Zarkai delegations made their way through the cavernous chamber, the assembled representatives fell into a hushed silence, all eyes fixed on the newcomers who had shaken the very foundations of galactic politics. Ambassador Layla Patel, chosen to represent humanity in this historic moment, straightened her back and lifted her chin. Beside her, High Commander Zilvan's bioluminescent patterns shimmered with a mix of excitement and apprehension. The council speaker, a tall, ethereal being with flowing tendrils of light, where a face should be, addressed the chamber. We convened this emergency session to address the recent upheaval in the galactic order. The alliance of humans and Zarkai has achieved what many thought impossible. They have dealt the Krell Empire a significant defeat. Murmurs rippled through the assembled delegates. Layla could feel the weight of countless alien gazes upon her, some curious, others wary, and a few openly hostile. Ambassadors, the speaker continued, gesturing to Layla and Zilvan. You stand before the Galactic Council as representatives of your respective species. We would hear your words. Layla stepped forward, her voice clear and steady. Esteemed members of the Council, we come before you not as conquerors, but as seekers of peace and cooperation. The threat posed by the Krell Empire affects us all. We believe that only through unity can we hope to secure a future free from their tyranny. Zilvan chittered in agreement. Our alliance with humanity has shown us the incredible potential that exists when different species come together, sharing knowledge and resources. We extend an invitation to all peace-loving races to join us in building a safer galaxy. Their words were met with a mixture of reactions. Some delegates nodded approvingly, while others whispered furiously among themselves. Then, a harsh, grating voice cut through the murmurs. Pretty words, sneered the Volcran ambassador, his exoskeleton clicking as he moved. But actions speak louder. You unleash devastation upon the Krell, and then preach peace. We've seen this before. a young, ambitious species rising quickly, only to become the very threat they claimed to fight against. Before Lila could respond, another voice joined the fray. "The Volcrins speak from fear, not wisdom," declared the Ether Concordat representative, her voice a melodious hum. "I, for one, am intrigued by what this human Zarkai alliance might offer. Perhaps it is time for new perspectives in our ancient halls." The chamber erupted into heated debate. Accusations flew, alliances shifted, and thinly veiled threats were exchanged. Through it all, Layla and Zilven stood firm, addressing concerns and extending offers of cooperation. Hours passed, and as the session adjourned, it was clear that the galaxy had been irrevocably changed. A dozen species had pledged support to the human Zarkai alliance, while others maintained a cautious neutrality. A few, led by the Volcrin, formed a opposition bloc, wary of the newcomers' growing influence. As Lila and Zilven left the council chambers, they were intercepted by a hooded figure. "Impressive performance," the stranger said, its voice a sibilant whisper. "But be warned, you've made powerful enemies today. The Krell are not the only threat you need to watch for." Before they could respond, the figure melted into the crowd, leaving behind a data chip containing encrypted intelligence on Krell fleet movements. Back on the Prometheus, now serving as the mobile headquarters for the expanded alliance, Admiral Chen and Fleet Master Torlak pored over the new information. "If this is accurate," Chen mused, "the Krell are mobilizing for a major offensive. They're calling in forces from across their empire." Torlak's tentacles writhed in agitation. "They mean to crush us before our alliance can grow any stronger. We need more ships, more weapons." Captain Elena Vasquez, freshly promoted for her role in the recent victory, joined the discussion. "Ships and weapons we can build, but we're going to need something more if we want to win this war. Information. We need to know what the other players in this game are up to." Dr. Samantha Chen nodded in agreement. "I've been working on something that might help. A network of quantum-entangled probes that can transmit data instantly across vast distances. We could see them throughout Krell space, maybe even in the territories of some of our more questionable allies." As the team discussed strategy, a priority communication came through from Earth. President Rodriguez's hologram materialized, her expression grave. "We have a situation. The Volcrin ambassador was found dead in his quarters on Earth. All evidence points to human involvement." A stunned silence fell over the room. Admiral Chen was the first to recover. "That's impossible. We had no reason to." "Of course we didn't," Rodriguez interrupted. "This is clearly a frame job, meant to discredit us. But the damage is done. The Volcrin are calling for our immediate expulsion from the Galactic Council. We need to find out who's really behind this, and fast." As if the situation couldn't get more complicated, alarms began blaring throughout the ship. Lieutenant Wang's voice came over the intercom, tight with urgency. "Multiple unidentified ships dropping out of FTL. They're not responding to hails and are on an intercept course." Admiral Chen's eyes hardened. "Red alert. All hands to battle stations. Looks like someone's decided to test our defenses." As the Prometheus and its escort ships moved to engage the unknown threat, Layla Patel found herself longing for the relative simplicity of the council chambers. The galaxy, it seemed, was determined to throw challenge after challenge at the fledgling alliance. In the days that followed, the human Zarkai alliance would find itself fighting battles on multiple fronts: diplomatic, military, and covert. The assassination of the Volcrin ambassador had sparked a political firestorm, with accusations and conspiracy theories flying from all corners of the galaxy. Meanwhile, the mysterious attack on the Prometheus turned out to be the first of many probing strikes, as various factions tested the strength and resolve of the new galactic power. Some were potential allies looking to gauge the alliance's capabilities, while others were opportunists hoping to steal advanced technology. Through it all, the core leadership of the alliance worked tirelessly. Captain Vasquez led daring raid missions to gather intelligence. Dr. Chen's quantum probe network began to bear fruit, providing crucial information on Krell movements and the hidden agendas of supposed allies. Ambassador Paddle found herself engaged in a complex dance of galactic diplomacy, forging new alliances and smoothing over misunderstandings. High Commander Zilven's steady presence and alien perspective proved invaluable in navigating the treacherous waters of interstellar politics. As the pieces moved on the cosmic chessboard, one thing became increasingly clear. The next major confrontation with the Krell would likely decide the fate of the galaxy. The human-Zarkai alliance had made a spectacular entrance onto the galactic stage, but now they needed to prove they had the wisdom and strength to lead. With the Krell Empire mobilizing for a massive assault and shadowy forces working to undermine them from within, the alliance faced its greatest challenge yet. The coming days would test not just their military might, but their unity, ingenuity, and the very principles upon which their partnership was built. As Admiral Chen often said, quoting an ancient Earth philosopher, "In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity." It remained to be seen whether humanity and its allies could seize that opportunity and shape a new future for the galaxy. The final gambit. The war room aboard the Prometheus hummed with tension as holographic displays flickered with real-time intelligence. From across the galaxy, Admiral Marcus Chen, his face etched with the weariness of countless battles, addressed the assembled leaders of the human-Zarkai alliance. "The Krell are massing their forces for a final push," he announced, gesturing to a cluster of red icons representing enemy fleets. "They mean to end this war in one decisive stroke." High Commander Zilven's bioluminescent patterns pulsed with concern. "Their numbers are overwhelming. Even with our recent technological advances, a direct confrontation would be costly." Captain Elena Vasquez, her uniform bearing the scars of recent skirmishes, leaned forward. "Then we don't give them the battle they're expecting. We take the fight to them. We strike at the heart of the Krell Empire itself." A murmur of surprise rippled through the room. Ambassador Layla Patel raised an eyebrow. "You're suggesting we attack the Krell homeworld? That's audacious." Dr. Samantha Chen nodded, her eyes gleaming with the light of scientific breakthrough. "And it just might work. I've been analyzing the data from our quantum probe network. The Krell have left their core systems relatively undefended. They've committed everything to this offensive." Admiral Chen's eyes narrowed as he considered the implications. "It's a gamble. If we commit our forces to a strike on their homeworld, we leave our own territories vulnerable. But if we succeed, we could end this war in one fell swoop." Fleet Master Torlak finished, his tentacles writhing with excitement. The plan came together quickly, born of desperate times and the unique synergy between human audacity and Zarkai precision. It would require every ounce of ingenuity, every scrap of advanced technology, and a healthy dose of what humans like to call crazy luck. As the Allied fleet made final preparations, President Rodriguez addressed the combined forces via holographic broadcast. "Today, we embark on a mission that will determine the fate of not just our own species, but countless others across the galaxy. The road ahead is fraught with danger, but I have faith in each and every one of you. Together, we will forge a future free from the shadow of tyranny." The journey to the Krell homeworld was a tense affair. The fleet utilized experimental stealth technology developed by Dr. Chen's team, slipping past Krell patrols and sensor nets. But as they approached their target, it became clear that the element of surprise wouldn't last long. Multiple contacts. Lieutenant Wong's voice rang out across the Prometheus's bridge. "Krell defensive platforms are powering up. They've detected us." Admiral Chen's voice was steel. "All ships, execute attack pattern Omega. Zarkai squadrons, take out those platforms. Earth heavy cruisers, clear a path for our main strike force." The void erupted in a dazzling display of destructive power as the Allied fleet engaged the Krell defenses. Zarkai ships danced between energy beams, their precision strikes dismantling the orbital platforms with surgical efficiency. Earth vessels unleashed salvos of antimatter warheads, punching holes in the Krell formation. But the Krell fought back with the desperation of a cornered animal. Swarms of fighter craft poured from hidden hangars, while massive dreadnoughts emerged from the planet's atmosphere. In the thick of the battle, Captain Vasquez led a strike team aboard a specially modified stealth ship. Their target, the central hive complex on the planet's surface, where intelligence suggested the Krell Empress herself resided. "This is it, people," Vasquez addressed her mixed human and Zarkai team. "Everything we've fought for comes down to this moment. Let's make it count." As the space battle raged overhead, Vasquez's team infiltrated the sprawling hive structure. They fought through waves of Krell defenders, their hybrid weapons and tactics keeping the enemy off balance. But time was running out. Back in orbit, the Allied fleet was taking heavy losses. The Prometheus shuddered under repeated impacts, its shields failing. "We can't hold them much longer, Admiral," Torlak reported, his usual calm demeanor cracking under the strain. Chen gritted his teeth. "We hold as long as we have to. Captain Vasquez will come through. She has to." Deep in the heart of the hive, Vasquez and her team finally reached their objective, a massive chamber pulsing with bioelectrical energy. And there, surrounded by a swarm of guards, was the Krell Empress, a monstrous being of terrifying intelligence and cruelty. "Now, Dr. Chen," Vasquez shouted into her comm as she and her team engaged the guards in a desperate firefight. Aboard the Prometheus, Dr. Samantha Chen activated the device she'd been working on for months, a massively scaled-up version of the crystal that had disrupted Krell communications in their first major victory. But this time, its effects would be far more dramatic. A wave of energy pulsed out from the device, washing over the planet and reverberating through space. The effect on the Krell was immediate and devastating. Ships careened out of formation, their crews suddenly cut off from the hive mind that coordinated their every action. On the planet's surface, entire armies of Krell drones collapsed, their connection to the Empress severed. In the hive chamber, the Krell Empress writhed in agony as the psychic backlash hit her full force. Vasquez seized the moment, activating a containment field that trapped the alien monarch. "Empress secured," she reported, her voice tight with the effort of restraining her captive, requesting immediate extraction. The tide of battle shifted dramatically. Without central coordination, the once unstoppable Krell war machine fell into disarray. The Allied fleet pressed their advantage, methodically dismantling the enemy's defenses. Hours later, as the dust settled and the enormity of their victory began to sink in, the leaders of the Human Zarkai Alliance gathered once more aboard the battered but triumphant Prometheus. Admiral Chen, his uniform singed and torn, managed a weary smile. "Against all odds, we did it. The Krell Empress is in custody, and their fleet is in retreat across the galaxy." High Commander Zilven's skin shimmered with colors of joy and disbelief. "It is a victory beyond our wildest hopes. But now comes perhaps our greatest challenge, building a lasting peace." Ambassador Patel nodded solemnly. "The galaxy will be looking to us for leadership. We must show them that our alliance stands for more than just military might. We have a chance to forge a new era of cooperation and understanding between species." As the Prometheus began its long journey home, the crew couldn't help but reflect on how far they had come. From humanity's first tentative steps into interstellar space to becoming a linchpin in galactic politics, it had been a journey beyond imagination. The challenges ahead were many. Rebuilding worlds devastated by war, integrating vastly different species into a cohesive galactic community, and ensuring that the power vacuum left by the Krell didn't give rise to new threats. But for the first time in recent memory, there was hope. Hope for a future where the combined strengths of humanity and its alien allies could overcome any obstacle. As Earth came into view, a brilliant blue marble suspended in the vastness of space, Captain Elena Vasquez stood at the Prometheus's observation deck. She was joined by Zilven, the two of them gazing at the planet in comfortable silence. You know, Alina said finally, when I joined the space program, I never imagined anything like this. First contact, interstellar war, saving the galaxy. It's like something out of an old science fiction story. Zilven's mandibles clicked in what Alina had come to recognize as laughter. Life, my friend, often surpasses even the most fantastical tales. But our story is just beginning. As if to underscore Zilven's words, a priority communication came through. It was from the Galactic Council. In light of recent events, they were proposing the bold new initiative, a united galactic federation, with the human Zarkai alliance at its core. Alina and Zilven shared a look of excitement and trepidation. The next chapter of their cosmic adventure was about to unfold, and the possibilities were as endless as the stars themselves.